For Abbie's diagnosis, she was a very outgoing, bubbly person, never home because she was always away out doing something, whether it was with her friends, at school. She went to a lot of clubs. As soon as she got diagnosed, or even as she took not well, all that started to drop away. She never came out of the room. The only time she would open the door was to let the dog in. All the way through school I was trying to figure out what was happening and why I kind of wasn't acting the way that I used to act and how I didn't feel the way I used to feel. And then one morning I remember waking up with these bumps all over my legs, and they came all the way from my ankle to my thigh. These bumps eventually got so painful that I couldn't walk, I couldn't go to school, I couldn't leave my house. And obviously still being in school, this makes you a bit, not a bit, a lot insecure. After thinking this was the worst thing that could kind of happen, I then woke up one day to find out I was completely blind in my left eye and a little bit in my right eye. And nothing kind of prepares you for that, because I was completely fine a month ago. I was fully fine, and then you wake up one morning to see that you just can't see. They released me, which put me in a bad state because I was still blind. I still didn't know what was going on. So my mum reached out to the Catherine McEwan Foundation for support, and really thankfully through that I was able to get diagnosed in February 2021 with Crohn's disease. Watching Abbie go from being so outgoing to, even after the diagnosis, she did go up a wee bit, thinking that this would be it, she'd be able to get on a treatment plan to try and help her. And then dramatically, mentally, she just shut down, I would say. It got to the stage I was that worried every time Mum called that I was going to get the call that she'd done something wrong. My diagnosis was it felt at the time like the light at the end of the tunnel, because when you're diagnosed you think, great, they know how to fix it now. Having to give up all these things that you love about your life when you're so young, what people don't understand is that it really takes a number on your mentality, because you think for such a young age you just can't do the things you want to do, and that's heartbreaking. Everyone else my age is living their life and having the best time, and yet I was stuck up in my room feeling so low that I didn't know if I was gonna make it through another day.
As a parent, I can't describe to you how hard that is to watch and to see how it's impacting on the full family.
I found Abbie on the kitchen floor and she had just reached her limits. She'd just reached breaking point. She was emotional, she was exhausted, she had no colour, the weight was falling off her, and she'd had enough. I contacted our GP and they asked me to explain over the phone what the issue was, and I explained it to them, and they basically said they agreed that she needed help but they couldn't help, but I could wait to see if they could fit us in, and I knew that Abbie didn't have that time. I reached out in desperation to the Catherine McEwan Foundation. We were put in touch with the Catherine McEwan Foundation's mental health therapist, Avril.
Avril's therapy and the support from the Catherine McEwan Foundation, I can honestly say that I'm pretty much the person that I did used to be. I've found myself again. I'm realising that there are ways for me to go and do the things I used to do. Yeah, they're just like a little bit different from how easy they used to be, but I don't have the mindset anymore that my disease is what keeps me from doing what I love.
The therapy for Abbie was absolutely life-saving. It brought her back from a really dark place, It gave her life back. We as a family, myself, all of us are extremely grateful to the Catherine McEwan Foundation for this support. It is a vital service. I wouldn't like to think for a moment where we would have been without it.
I would really like to thank Derek McEwan and the foundation and Avril Bruce for everything that they did for me, because I really wouldn't be here without them, and I'm so thankful that I have a different life all because of them now.